I'm really proud of my basketball team. This is 2 games in a row where I feel like we've played really, really well, really, together. We fought together. We've been all in about us and the things that we have to do to win. It shows. Again, in the last 2 ball games, we've held both teams to under 40%. For us to hold them to 36% today and 34 from the from the 3-point line, and then the rebound like we did was another great effort. Really happy for Terrell and our 5 senior managers, for them to go out here in the Pitt like this, but especially Terrell. It was great to have some of the members of the zoo here. For him to end his last year at home like this, compared to how his last game ended his freshman year. It's an incredible journey that he's been on, and I'm fortunate to be a part of that journey with him. I've watched him grow up. He's a guy that's bought into everything that we've tried to do here as we've tried to rebuild this thing. Big time effort by us, by our team, by our guys. I thought Will Jefferson's defense, his play, everything about it was really good. Nike was outstanding. Got us going there offensively, was efficient, made his free throws, and also got 9 rebounds. I thought Oni came in and gave us a huge lift defensively first. Defensively, both times he was in, and then obviously scoring a basket and running our team and doing it without turning the basketball over. Noah did some really good things. Again, big time team effort. Proud of our guys, happy for them, and really, really pleased with how we've come together these past couple of games. Questions?
Jeff, what does it tell you about your, about your team? That you guys have come out with back-to-back games like this, following everything from last week, or does it kind of reaffirm things that you already knew or felt about this group?
Well, I felt it. I felt it when we had practice Thursday, had practice Friday. When we practiced Saturday, we traveled. We went to shoot around Saturday night down in Raleigh. It's by far the best that we've had. Our shoot around today was right there with it. It's best 2 shoot arounds we've had. Again, I think this team understands how much we need each other. I think they enjoy being around each other. I just think that they have the adversity maybe has bonded us. Again, I don't pay attention to what's said or talked about or written because I'm in it. I know, but these guys do. So I think maybe they feel like they have something to prove. And again, look, these are 2 really good efforts that we've had, especially defensively and rebounding. Today, was a little bit better offensively. A little bit of carryover. We were good in the second half of state, and a little bit of carryover. We were pretty good today. Still can't turn the basketball over as much as we did, but I'm not surprised.
So, what do you think you can do for some of these guys?
I can't hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
A little bit. Let me see if I can. Where's the volume on this thing? Give me a second. Let's see if I can turn my volume up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what does it do for especially some of these younger guys to get an opportunity late in the year and then win some basketball games, or at least one basketball game?
Yeah, it's. I think that's one of the things that some of the guys were excited about is they saw opportunity, and an opportunity, to show. These kids are good players. They're talented players, and they sometimes it's all you need is an opportunity. And they're ready to take advantage of it. They've worked for it, they've earned it, and they've played well. It was really good for us to win. I'm not going to lie. For all we've been through, to kind of reaffirm, that what we're doing is right. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in how we're doing it. I know it's going to work. I know we'll continue to add the pieces that we need. To do this thing the right way. I knew when I took the job, it wasn't a quick fix. That's very difficult for me because I want it to be. We've shown signs that we were on the right path. And again, we're showing signs right now that we're on the right path.
Jeff, William Jeffers had struggled to shoot the ball a year, but put up a career high in points tonight. What was he doing tonight to make him so effective offensively?
Everything. He's learning how to work. I think I said the other day when I talked, and I don't know if it was this, if it was the conference call or whatever, one of the things I had a really interesting conversation with him. And I love talking to him because you can have deep conversations with him. And he said to me, he was very honest, like, Coach, I don't know how to work, and that's something that and it's very rare to hear a kid take ownership like that. Most kids want to blame. They want to point the finger and blame. And for him to say that. And so he's learning how to work, learning that extra work is not punishment, learning that staying after practice or coming in early or doing things at different times, that's not punishment. That's how you get better. And he wants to be good. He has a really good basketball IQ. And again, he's learning how to work. He's learning how to do things. He's learning how to become consistent in his preparation to become a good player.
Jeff, you have two seniors on the team and only one did senior day. I mean, are you expecting Nike back next season?
Well, there's a chance. And we talked to him. He didn't want to do it today. And so that decision will be made at the conclusion of the year. But there's a chance.
Jeff, you mentioned opportunity with the young guys. Is it the same thing with Nike, that this is kind of mid-season we consider where he would be and he's just getting in the flow right now?
There's no one probably that it affects more than him, because he's shown that he's a good player, and his season has been so disjointed. It's been more disjointed than anyone on our team. And, to get into a rhythm, I think he's starting to get into a rhythm of the game. We can't simulate that in practice because, this time of year, you aren't practicing that long. You're not doing that much contact. And so it's really putting in game plan, trying to get shots and trying to stay fresh. And so these last 3 games, he's been able, really the last 4 games, he's been able to play a lot of minutes, and he's gotten better and better each game.
Jeff, you had some moments of success over the last 3 years that made you feel like you were on the right path. Do these last couple games give you the strongest feeling in that regard?
Yes, they do. They do. Again, I believe in what we're doing. I believe in how we're doing it. I believe we have the right pieces. Obviously, we have to continue to add the pieces. And I'm excited about the opportunity to add those pieces. I'm excited about the opportunities that have presented themselves where we can add more pieces and more pieces that fit, and want to do it how we want to do it.
Jeff, you guys dominated points in the paint and rebounds. I know that you guys were working in Will, and you worked in Terrell, and you worked in Koulibaly, but you guys worked in a lot of different bodies today and got more success in that area. What kind of confidence does it offer that, you talk about smart basketball players, that you're developing those kind of guys in that area where you guys need to improve? Yeah,
well, that's when you're, and we've been this way at times this year. So what I'm saying is not like I thought we were after the first game, I thought for that next 9-10 games or whatever it was until after Duke, we were all about winning. We were all about how can we win. We were all about Pitt winning. And then we got just really screwed up after that. And we weren't the same. And you saw it. I mean, it wasn't. And I just feel like over the last, week, or hell, how many, this is like, last week was like the longest week ever. So however many days from last Thursday until today, that it's starting to feel like that again, how it felt a little bit earlier in the season. And hopefully that's something we can continue to build off of. Not hopefully, we will continue to build off of.
Jeff, you had talked a little bit earlier about having some deep conversations with Will. I figured that saying that as a coach, that you probably have had with players over your career. But for a freshman, how unusual is that, to be able to have that kind of a bond and those kind of conversations, especially for someone who's only 17?
Yeah, I mean, it's unusual for a freshman, or for not even a freshman, for a player today to not blame somebody else when it's not going right for them. And the coach is always the convenient one to blame. And I don't know any coach out there that's actively trying to lose. And so as a coach, you're trying to figure out ways and putting guys from what you see in practice, and things like that. And if it's not going for you, if you're not playing well, a lot of times there are complaints. And one of the things that I've loved about Will Not one time has he done that. You know, we've had some really interesting conversations. You know, like it was a while ago, and I actually thought he wanted to come and complain and talk about it, whatever. And he comes in my office, and the very first thing he says, sits down, he's like, Coach, before we get into anything, you know, how are you doing? How are you holding up? And I was shocked. I don't know when the last time I've been asked that by anybody. Hell, my wife doesn't ask me that. And so it's refreshing. And I'm excited about who he's going to become as a player. And I'm excited to be on the journey with him. So thank you, guys.
Nike, how is it, I guess over these past few games, as you've gotten more playing time, how much more comfortable do you feel out there? And, over the course of those games, how much confidence has come with that?
I feel like confidence just comes with me just getting out on the floor more, seeing more options, and just getting more experience and getting out there on the floor. So I think it's just me just getting more comfortable every game.
Nike, what kept you working hard while you were waiting for that opportunity?
Really just the coaches and the guys in the locker room every day. Just staying focused and staying with a mission on my mind. So that kept me focused.
Nike, you've scored a lot of points in your career. Is it any different doing it in an ACC gym for this team than it was doing it for Miami in the MAC?
No, not to me, no difference. I think it's no difference.
Nike, I know you're new to, this is your first year with the team, but what have you seen with the freshmen who stepped up for Pitt, especially in the last couple of games? William Jeffers starting and seeing extended time, and what have you seen from their growth? From what have you seen them as a vet?
Man, they play huge. William, he's stepping up he's gonna be a real huge piece here. Femi, he's playing excellent. And Noah, he's coming along. They are coming along pretty good, man. Max as well. I think they got a real good group, and y'all gonna be excited for the future here for sure.
Speaking of the future, Coach said that you declined to take part in senior night tonight. What went into that decision for you?
Just a decision behind closed doors. Talking to Coach Capel and just figuring some things out.
Nike, when it comes to possibly playing next season, how much is what's happened over the past week, with there potentially being more minutes there and a different kind of roster, how much does that ultimately shape your decision on whether or not to use that extra year?
It's just we're all with capable playing. I'm just bought into the coaches, and whatever we got to do to figure out a way we can win, I'm all for it. So if that comes with me staying, he feel like I could be a piece to help compete and win here, then I'll sacrifice and do that.
Now, defensively, you guys have really picked it up the last two games, especially. What have you seen from the inside, saying how you guys have communicated better? That's changed over the last two games compared to the stretch where you guys were having a rough time.
We just bought in. Everybody's just bought in, and we all got one common goal. So our communication has been real good, and I think that's a big piece. If your communication is on point, then and more possessions than the other team, then you will most likely come out on point. So on top. So I think that's it. Just communicating and staying together the whole 40 minutes.
Nike, did you see this team improving last week after all the upheaval last week? Did you see these guys getting better once you start practicing again, maybe on Thursday?
Yes, sir. I feel like we compete and get better every day in practice. We try not to take no days off and just work hard every single day. So I see our group getting better and better, and us getting more comfortable every single game in practice.
Thank you. This was your best free throw shooting performance by far this season. How much of a sign of, how comfortable you've gotten on the court do you think that is, and what's gone into that approach, trying to fix that?
Just approaching the day confident and just being myself and just knowing what I could do on the floor every day and staying focused. That just helped me. So I feel like if I do that, I can we'll be okay, and I'll be okay.
Nike, when was the last time that you made 3 threes like that? Because you banked one in, one bounced off the rim a couple times, and then one like hit off the heel and then plopped in. Has that ever happened to you, like in an actual college game?
I think it probably, probably not, man. It probably happened probably somewhere in my past or something, but not like like tonight. I can't remember. So I'm glad they went in. I take them. God bless me, and they went in, so I'll take it.
Will, we had talked with Coach Capel yesterday. Sorry, I've lost track of time. With about you coming and approaching him and kind of talking to him and saying that you didn't know how to work. I was curious, what kind of brought about that realization for you, and what compelled you to go talk to him about that, and what'd you take from that conversation?
I really told him that because in my life, a lot of things have come a lot easier to me than college basketball. Usually my father would always set up my workouts, and he'd always be there to push me and stuff like that. But when you get to college, you become a little more independent, and you have to find that drive and that push for yourself. And I knew I had it inside of me. I just didn't know how to act on it. I didn't really know how to create my own drills and stuff like that to try and get better in my own way. And so when I was talking to Coach Capel, a lot of what he was saying was, if you want to get to where you want to go, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the work, and there's no other way around that. And so that's when it came up where it was like, I really don't know how to work, but that's what I'm here to do.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, Coach Capel said those talks did a lot for him and made him feel really very good. How did that make you feel after you left his office?
It made me feel good. It made me feel like I'm building a deeper connection with Capel, talking and communicating more, and just building a stronger relationship within his players and within his program. I always thought that felt good. So.
Well, what can you tell us about the response you guys have had here the last 2 games?
The response we've had is just stick together. One thing that we've really been saying is we're all we got and we're all we need. And so just continue fighting. That's what Capel keeps telling us. And just our morale, like no matter what happens or what adversity hits us, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, one thing that I know about Pittsburgh basketball is that we'll never give up and we'll never lose our fight.
Well, what is it like as a freshman? This is your first college basketball experience. You had COVID, you had games postponed. You've had to deal with a lot of different things. And you said you're trying to figure out how to develop your own work ethic and to how you improve. And then here on your final home game of the season, you put in a really solid performance, some block shots, some buckets. What's that like for a journey for you to kind of culminate, at least, this part of where you're going with your life?
Honestly, it feels good. Life's all about your journey and what you do to get there. It's not always about the destination. Like I said, you're gonna face a lot of adversity. You're gonna face a lot of trials, tribulations, and stuff that's gonna get in your way. And sometimes there's only one way to get through it, and that's to push through. And so to be able to, at the end of this season, really almost find myself and figure out how to work, figure out what I like to do and things I can do on the court to stay on the floor. It gives me a lot of confidence to go into these next couple of games that we have and into the summer and into the off season, and make sure when I'm here next year that I can still continue to try and become the best player that I can be.
Will, what has these last few weeks been like for you in general, personally? 11 total minutes against Georgia Tech and Florida State, and then tonight going out there having 37.
Honestly, this week's been the same, going to practice, play hard, practice hard, try and boost my teammates up, supply energy. And I know in life, nothing's ever given. So anytime throughout that stretch where I wasn't playing minutes, there was no complaints for me. Just work harder and just continue to cheer my teammates on. And I knew when the time came when it was my turn to step up to the plate and people and my number was called, that the work that I put in, I'd be ready.
Well, what do you think you've learned this season, and not just you, but also Noah and Femi as a group? What has this freshman class learned these past couple months?
Fight. That's it. Like I said, I feel like adversity is the name of the season. We've encountered a lot of things, and all you do is have to put your head down, continue to work, and keep pushing. A lot of what we've learned is how to try and become leaders, try and impact our teammate as much as we can, no matter what position we are in, whether that's on the bench, in the game, in practice, in the film room, wherever. Just all about making an impact and continuing to fight through everything.
Will, over the course of the season, I feel like we've heard a lot about how young you are. I feel like half the country by now probably knows that you're 17, but I was curious how much that impacts you and how much that kind of makes the acclimation to college basketball trickier, not only being a freshman, but being someone who is young for a freshman.
I really don't think that impacts me. I've never used my age as a restriction or an excuse. I've always been pushed ahead in my life, honestly, whether that's in the classroom, on the court. When I was 15, I was playing 17U on the EYBLs, skipping grades in high school. Everything in my life has just always been pushed forward. And so, honestly, this is where I feel like I'm supposed to be. I think it's funny when people say that I'm 17 because I don't feel like it. I certainly don't think I act like it. And so, like I said, I really don't think my age has really had an impact on me on acclimating to the college game, acclimating to being a freshman in college, being away from home or anything like that. No matter how young people think I am, I'm where I'm supposed to be.